Thank you, everyone. I'm Whitney Anderson.
And I'm Samantha Phoenix. And this is Calm Radio. We want to welcome everyone today for another episode of Getting Real with Whitney and Samantha. Today, our topic is going to be about creating our own reality based on our perceptions and judgments.
Wow, wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, not only is it nice, it's really awesome when you understand how you actually can control that and make that your reality.
Oh, it's more than awesome. It's a way of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a way of life we can all have because we're all able to focus. We're all able to control our minds and our thoughts. We're all perfectly capable of creating exactly the world that we truly want to live in and not continuing to perpetuate a system of lack.
Well, it's just, we do it each and every day. We create our own reality just by the habits that we wake up with every morning. And that's why I've said it earlier. When you wake up in the morning, wake up with a smile on your face and do something positive right away. And when you do this, it comes back up here to what we're talking about today, creating our own reality. So when you start out with something positive, you're going to have a very positive reality. So
absolutely. You set yourself up for other positive vibrational happenings to happen.
Every day, every minute of every day.
Every moment of your vibration, you are literally setting yourself up to attract the same vibration. Which is why we all go through things. Something will hurt our feelings, or we'll have a knee-jerk reaction to something that may still be a little trigger here and there. And if we take a moment to really stop and just allow it to not affect us more than in that moment, we can perpetuate that negative feeling bad about something for as long as we want to.
Exactly.
Or we can literally cut it off as soon as we recognize it and acknowledge it and honor it. You gotta honor it. Like, say, okay, that's valid that I feel this way, but in truth, it's really not worth whatever it's making me feel this way about. And as soon as you recalibrate your energy, then whatever flow of that type of energy is automatically reversed too. So you're no longer bringing that to you. It's like if you allow that vibration that you don't want to continue long enough that that's what is consistently producing in your reality, then it's like that rut that we get stuck in.
I think I got a good example of this. Two coworkers sit side by side. They get the same exact job assignments each day. At the end of the day, one coworker she says she had the worst day she could think of. The next worker comes in, had the same job assignments, everything. She said, "Oh, it was great. Everything was wonderful today." And the workers had almost identical work experiences and assignments. The only difference was one worker chose to remain positive and chose to
find the joy in her day.
A wonderful day.
Yeah.
So it is a choice. I mean, it is a choice, and if you look at it like that, you have to be able to kind of relate to that in some way.
Absolutely. And once we become conscious of our thoughts, once we become conscious of the vibration that we're emitting, once we become conscious of our energy flow, then all of these things help us to really embrace a way of looking at things that continue to perpetuate what we truly do want to bring into existence. So I've been doing this little test and it's been working. It's really interesting how many times it's worked. Well, there's always those people that you see around you that have a negative vibration just because they're not able to, get the fuck over themselves. They're not able to get beyond some sort of grief. They're not able to get beyond something. It's always whatever we've put in our way, but you're just not able to get past it. So they're continuing to perpetuate and resonate in that negative energy, and it causes a disruption for those of us who are not in that vibration. If we allow it, and sometimes we do more than others, but if we allow it, then that brings our vibration to a level where we're trying to to calibrate to theirs, or can even instantly gravitate to theirs because we want to support them in their misery, because they want to be miserable and we want to support them in that misery. But then it creates that same miserable vibration for ourselves. So why do that to either one of us?
People get stuck in that, and that's kind of where they want to be. They literally want to be there. They will themselves to be miserable,
or they
each
just
and every
deny
day.
the fact that that's not where they're already at, that they're not already that, at that place. I understand seeing yourself where you want to be, and that's perfect. That's the best way to get there. But there's also a certain amount of accepting where you are in this moment and knowing that that place is what you're striving toward, but accepting the fact that it is something that you're working toward, not that you're already there when you're still spouting off and doing all the same negative vibrational things that you're trying to deny. That's straight up denial, and that doesn't work for anyone. So those are the kind of things that are kind of my triggers,
I know.
Someone who knows
exactly
what they're
what you
doing,
mean.
but just absolutely refuses to own it, to
Right.
to admit it, to accept it, to just be. If that's how you're going to be, that's cool. Be, but don't be denying who you are when it's very obviously in front of everybody else's face.
I think that's one of the most important things in the world, is to live your own truth.
Exactly.
I mean, if you can't live your truth, it's a miserable existence. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. And so this test I've been doing, I've been changing the way I view certain people. Like, it's kind of like you see somebody, you know what to expect. It's like, oh, I love seeing her because she's always so happy and so fun, and we laugh and da-da-da. Or, man, I really like her, but she's such a downer. She always brings the energy down, everybody's trying to have a good time, and she's all like, man, or, hey, this guy's really cool, but he's got this funky vibe, he kind of is very angry and disruptive, even though he tries to be on a positive level. It's like he just can't quite make it. All of these different things. Those are the things that, as we see people in these places, and as we see it as a pattern in seeing those people in those places, then we learn to expect those people to be in those places, because that's what we see on a regular basis. But in changing our reality, because we consider our reality is based on what we see.
I think we can help change those people
We
ourselves.
literally change the way, at least with us, the way they vibrate.
Absolutely.
By changing the way we see them. I did this first. I did this test with my husband because, he's always the one that's like my biggest trigger. Always. And that's me. It's not him, it's me. I know that. But even in that's always the one that can get me when everything else is namaste, motherfuckers. So
as long as he understands everything you say is right.
Exactly. But I have to also understand that everything he says is right as well.
There you go.
That in our perceptions we are right in those things. But he went through this time where he was really, when we first met, he was very angry, and then he went through this growth and life change that he was just really like ultimate hippie guru, totally just chill, was the most calm, beautiful person I have ever seen him be. And then he went through the medical issues where he was in the hospital for a little bit and went through some things, and I started seeing that angry person again. And then we had to go through all these processes, and that anger kept kind of compounding a little more. He was really not meaning to be, but it was like, that underlying thing. But it kept coming more and more to the surface as things progressed. And then, we made this big move, and here we are. And he was getting really difficult to live with. And I was like, oh, and every day we're going, I'd be great. I'd be in this wonderful place. And then I'd see him, and I'd be like, oh. And I went, you know what? He went to work.
Right.
He went to work one day, and I was listening to Esther and Abraham and got some clarity on some things that was really cool. And I went, you know what? I don't want to see my husband this way anymore. I don't want to feel this way about a person that's like the most important person in my life anymore. I don't want to feel, I don't want to feel all of these negative things when I just consider being in the same space with him. That's not the way I want to feel about my partner.
Exactly.
This is my partner. That's my ride or die. He's always going to have my back. I know that. He's always there for me.
Very similar things happen, Samantha.
So why do I want to feel anything other than just that? I don't. But I was feeling that. And I went, well, you know what, Samantha? Nobody's going to change the way you feel except for you. So let's sit here and really appreciate who he is. And then see him having his own moment of clarity. And whatever all of that shit is he's holding on to, that's got all that anger bundled up, that's creating the vibrational tension that we were having, I could just see him letting it go. And I could see him coming home, with a whole new resonance. I could see him, it was almost like I could feel him coming home happier and in a better place. And where, kind of just being that guy that I hadn't seen in a few months, And sure enough, when he walked in the door that day, that's exactly who he was. Wow. And he told me that while he was at work, he went through kind of his own epiphany about some things, and he released some things. And so it was like literally, whether I was feeling it as he was going through the process, or whether it was, I don't know if it was all happening at the same time. If there was the chicken or the egg, it doesn't really matter. It was all in conjunction. Manifested. Exactly, it was all in conjunction. And the moment I changed my vibration, the moment I changed the vibration I projected toward him, it also became a point, a doorway somewhere in him being able to recalibrate and come home in that different place.
Exactly.
And so it literally worked. It worked in one day. Literally, my morning meditation and evening he came home.
Yeah. Samantha, do you know how many people that story right there could help? I mean, that one story right there alone.
I have three more just like it with different people. And I've got another one I'm kind of focusing on that way now. And so in doing that, I'm starting to look at everyone that way. I see everyone in a state of wellness. I refuse to be any other way than a state of wellness. My body refuses to be anything but wellness. Everything about me now refuses to be anything but wellness. And that doesn't mean that I can't allow it to be something else. I can choose to allow it to be whatever I choose to. But in creating my own reality, I want a reality where I'm at my best in my wellness, mentally, physically, emotionally, in every form, and that everyone else is as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And the more I see myself and everyone around me that way, the more I'm surrounded by people that way, and the more the people that surround me are becoming that way. I'm watching so many people evolve just from knowing that we're all in this space, and we're all in this journey together. So in that's that part of my reality. But it can be even simpler, knowing that we have a way to affect people just by changing our vibration like that. That's people, and we're very intricate, crazy kind of, there's so many different aspects of people, and literally just a vibrational change is on the table.
What do we change? Our perception,
what about physical
and judgments.
Exactly. Changing the perception and judgments.
Correct.
That we place on other people changes our reality, and it changes their reality, at least in those that are co-creating within ours.
There you go.
And we see, bumping into other people is wanted, because that creates contrast within these beautiful realities as we see things, and so we can expand. It's all about the expansion, not putting things in a box. And by the judgments, we put those things in a box. We limit the ability for us and others to create.
And we limit not only the ability to create, but we also limit the ability to understand. Mm-hmm. And I guess that without the understanding, you don't have creation. So it goes
exactly, they go hand in hand.
It's all tied together. But when you are able to release this and understand that your reality is indeed created, by your perception and your judgments. Everyone, bar none, we all create our own realities in this world. And when we understand that we don't have to be judgmental, we don't have to question everything as foreign just because it's different than what we do. We can take a look at it with open eyes and try to understand how someone else's world may be a little different than ours, and their journey